Press on. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing in the world is more uncommon than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent.
Hey guys, glad you could join me again. Let's see what we got going on in the garage. I guess we'll start right here. Doing a longevity test, see how long this will run on this battery. This is one of those self-flying drones. I have videos about them. They're pretty cool little toys. It's got one single 18650 on it. I'm going to see if the motor overheats or whatever. I doubt it. I talked about that tethered drone video. You probably got referred to that. I could talk for like hours about my tethered drones and they go. But yeah, this is for an experiment for tethered drones. Let's come over here. That's the main event. Got to pick this up today from a good friend. He gave me a call. They were moving out, getting rid of some stuff. They know I've ridden thousands of miles on these gas-powered bikes. That's one of them I got, and out of about 6 of them I've had. So coming over to this is an antique, good old Schwinn down there, all original. This is a higher performance motor. It's got the performance hat on it. Looks like it was a Skyhawk kit. Got a cool little muffler on it. And cobbled together, but I love it. I just really like this. What I'm gonna do with this bike, I'm gonna make a video about it. I'm gonna restore it. I'm gonna end up stripping it down, bringing it right down to bare metal. I'm gonna remove all the wheels, clean the wheels real well. The rims with the Gojo and the aluminum foil, and I've talked about that. That's the best way to clean up that rusty steel. And might upgrade the chain there to in the sprocket. That's just a bike chain type drive. I don't like those. But it's a crazy story because I got this from a guy named Bubba Bowerman. He's a good friend of mine. Well, the first gas-powered bike I ever had about 15 years ago. Well, it wasn't my first. I had one as a kid, the Weed Whacker engine, but I rode that thing everywhere. That was my beginning, but then I didn't have any all the way till I was probably about 28, 29. And Larry Bowerman, his grandfather, Bubba's grandfather, actually had a blue bike just like my electric one here. And it had a 49cc kit. This is a 66.6cc, often known as an 80cc. But getting back to that bike, it was mint. It was a big balloon tire bike, kind of like this one, but even bigger balloon tires. Original Schwinn, had the 49cc with the bike chain drive. That bike chain used to break all the time. That's how I actually lost it, is because that bike chain, one of the many times it broke, I locked it up at my job. I used to ride from downtown all the way to my work on 44th Street, Clyde Park, somewhere around there, or 54th and Clyde Park, excuse me. And I parked it in our scrap pile at the job. It's where we emptied out those hoarder homes, so we had quite a scrap pile. And just as everybody left, I went to leave and the chain broke, so I chained it up back there, hopped on the bus, and rode home. Well, I came back the next day and somebody had cut the chain off to take that bike. I was so surprised because I didn't really ever expect that. So that was the end of that. And then I moved on to building my own kits and got all into them for many years. Built over 100 and of course, broke a bunch of bones, rode a lot of miles, and I don't do it anymore. I don't really ride them, but I'm going to fix this one up. The plan is what I'm going to do is copper coat this whole frame. I'm going to use electrolysis. I'm going to strip her down to bare metal, use a car battery and some copper, and I'm actually going to copper niobium coat it. I know you've heard me talk about niobium before, maybe not. Niobium's this metal that I have a lot of. I collect it. I've always been trying to melt it down. I'm getting closer and closer to making my own arc furnace to make jewelry with it, but I'm going to make my foray into melting brass and other metals with my forge. And that brings me to come over here. That thing's running down. That battery went down quick. Oh, that is a really crappy 18650. But anyway, tethered drones, actually I run them off wall power anyway with the inverter, so it don't really matter. I'm just doing that for shits and giggles. But this is the burner Dave gave me, our good friend Dave. He's like, he melts metal, does all kinds of forging. He's got anvils, coolest guy. But he gave me this and a bunch of nozzles and gave me a bunch of good information. I know quite a bit about it. I've got my own ideas, but Dave's super smart, so I'm listening to him. I'm going to use that on my forge, my converted, it's a big giant converted kiln. I'm working on that right now. So let's come over to this and a long discussion. It's going to be a long video. I apologize if my battery doesn't die. This is a paintball gun, and these are all 3D printed parts, 3D printed things. I'll go through the different things. So this is just it's a piece of junk, let's see, blade. Cool. It's a piece of junk blade, shotgun style. You gotta pump it every time. It's not semi-automatic. I've got a bunch of semi-autos up here. A little bit better, but still junky. But they're cool. I mean, they're semi-automatic. I've got the automatic ball releasers and regular ones, and I've got tons of big gas cylinders, little gas cylinders. So I got all these for this 3D printed experiment I'm going to be running. But let's get back to this gun, what I'm going to do with it. This part right here is cracked, so I'm going to repair that tonight on video, or maybe not on video, but I'm going to repair that with some of this epoxy that I got right here, and a hose clamp, and this stuff right here, repair wrap. Love this shit. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but I'm going to do a real quick review of this stuff. You just add water to it. It's called Fiber Fix. This shit is amazing. You can see on the picture, you can pretty much fix a lot of things with it. I've done a ton of stuff with it. It's like JB Weld on a roll. If you've never seen it, just go to the store, buy some. It's quite pricey. It's like $8 for a package. Comes in all different sizes. But yeah, you just soak it in a little water and then wrap it around stuff, and it hardens up like, pretty much like carbon fiber, I'd call it, but it's not, obviously. Okay, back to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this hand grip here, paint it black, purdy it up a little bit. I've got these Picatinny rails that I 3D printed, and I'm making a conversion for S-rail, or a different type of rail. I mean, you know, the little bit smaller version that a lot of BB guns and stuff have, which actually this BB gun right here has it, and that's what it's for. So does this BB gun. That, I'm not sure what they call that small rail, but that's a Picatinny rail conversion. Then I've got these. These are your scope mounts, and these are for flashlight, removable flashlight mounts, and those are to deck out the various BB guns. You know, I'm going to redo them all, so after I clean them up, I'm going to accessorize some of them. I've got a lot more than that, and I'm going to accessorize this one as well. This is just a semi-automatic, but I'm getting a full automatic pistol that's exactly like this. I'll do a video on that because I do comparisons versus, but that's what we're coming to today. I think I talked about these. This is all, I'm redoing this whole gun so I can do some tests on these. These are 3D printed rounds. They've got built-in fins. Here, let's grab one. I got one on this magnifying glass here. So as you can see, these are printed in PLA, but I printed them in Tallman Bridge nylon. I printed them in many different materials. Let's see if it can focus on that. back side there. I don't think it's going to focus for me. Let's see if it'll do it down here. There we go. Focused up. So you can see the back side. It's got those fins. Those are rifled, and basically those make these paintballs or paintball replacements. Makes them fly straight as an arrow. Normal paintball out of here, anything round when you shoot out of a paintball is gonna. Everybody's seen it. It flies completely sideways, and sometimes they'll arc in and hit straight. But these fly straight right out of the barrel all the way to the target. And what's great about them is I've already tested them, but I'm going to do a video test later on. If you subscribe and watch, you will be able to see it. I got 177 caliber pellet lead inclusions for one type. I call it subdural rounds. And then I have 22 caliber lead inclusions. They're bullets that I drill out the centers and put them inside. I can print them hollow, but it's not even worth the trouble. I can just drill them out. And then the third type that I just came up with the other day, I don't know if you've seen the giant whippersnappers, but they have really loud whippersnappers. They're basically, I don't know what they're called, but they're badass. You throw them at the ground, they sound louder than a black cat. And they're tiny. So what I've done is I've already cut one in half, and it didn't blow up in my hand. I was able to separate it, so just need half of one of those things because they're so powerful. And I'm going to drill this out and put that inside and set it with epoxy, obviously. And I'm going to do a bunch of different tests. I'm going to put a metal end on one. But my feeling is, the guys at work are like, oh, it's going to blow up in the barrel. I don't really care. It'll just blow shrapnel off the end of the barrel. It'll be more effective because these are for self-defense. And I have some pistols that I'm trying to get from China right now. They look just like that. They look just like a regular standard handgun. They run on these cylinders here, the 12-gram cylinders. They fire 68 caliber paintballs, and that's what that size is. So essentially, they hold 7 shots. They're semi-automatic. If you put 7 of those in there, maybe several different types. You got your, pepper ball first, just for a warning shot. Then you follow up with these, you maybe got the 22 hematoma round. It's going to knock somebody out if it hits them in the head. You'll see from my test. I'm going to shoot various items, some homemade ballistic gel. And I'm going to use this crappy gun just to test because it's close to pistol size. So it's going to be about close to the velocity. You also can't turn this one up. Or at least I don't know how to turn this type of gun up. I have these turned up full blast. We'll probably do some tests with these also later on just to show. Because the first time I shot one of these was out of this gun. Actually, all of them I've shot. I haven't fired any out of the more powerful guns that are turned up. But it damn near went through a 3/8 inch sheet of plywood. So it's got power. And power enough to do some damage. Alright, so enough of that. This is the flashlight that fits the flashlight mount there. And this super bright tactical. Everybody's seen these, like the Home Depot $10 special from like 10 years ago. But it's LED. It's just got the single chip. It's 500 lumens. It's a bright bastard for being so old. Carried it on the job. You can see the paint on it. Used to use it quite frequently. But that comes to this. This is a 3D printed spiral blade knife. Online they have steel versions, metal versions of these knives. They go for $1,000. This supposedly that blade style right there, if you stab somebody with it, a metal one obviously, not a plastic one, I don't think. Well, maybe. Well, you can't sew it up. It's a fatal wound. If you get stabbed or stab somebody with that, they're going to die or you're going to go to prison. So, anyway, I 3D printed this because I was going to cast it. I do metal casting because they sell for $1,000. I figured I could sell a casted one, of various materials. I'm always looking for valuable things. That's why I got the 3D printer in the first place. I 3D printed. I was getting into 3D print bump stocks. That was many, many years ago. Bump stocks are obviously now illegal. I did print, a few of them, and they're destroyed now. I think I lost them in a boating accident at some point. But yeah. the bump stocks are cool and all, but they're cool for a Ruger 1022 with a dual drum or single drum. I mean, that's a powerful weapon. Nobody can deny that's a super powerful weapon. And, I mean, you could put more lead down range with that weapon with a bump stock than for $300 total, not even, than you can any other way. So per dollar, you can get the most firepower. I don't know of any other way to put, you know, with the bump stock, you get 600, 700 rounds a minute. That's, you know, that's 10 rounds every second. Yeah, well, some people get 300. So still 5 rounds a second. 5 rounds of 40 grains. That's 200 grains per second. Just continuously for however many rounds you dump. That's a lot of lead. And it's all following each other, and it's all controllable. You can put tracers in there. You know, the bump stocks were fun, but, you know, anyway, on with that. So that gave me an idea for these. And I've actually tested these a lot of different calibers and types because I had an idea to sell 3D printed ammunition for less lethal ammunition purposes. Now that's what I'm doing with these, but these are actual bullets, and they do hold together. You make them out of the right materials, and that's a whole nother video subject. Alright, I'm way off track. So getting back to this 3D printed knife I was going to cast. Before I was going to cast it, I had an idea. This is an electric stun gun coil, 150,000 volts, or whatever you want to call it, who knows. But if you look at this handle, it's hollow. So, and this fits right in. I printed it that way for a reason. And what I did is actually got 3 razors that attached to the top there, and I was going to run the wires through. I never did it. Who needs a weapon like this? But I thought it would be pretty epic. It was just an idea to sell along with the others. But to put the triple, all I needed was 3 AAAs to run this. And it runs powerful. It shoot about an inch-long spark. I'm not going to do it right now. But I was going to run it between the 3 blades so it would spark there on the end between the razors. And have a spike on the end where it would also zap to, you know, there'd be electric current going through. And even being a plastic knife, be quite a deterrent effect because it'd still be useful. I mean, this edge is almost razor sharp. It's plastic, but. And then I was going to put it inside of a flashlight as a sheath, inside of the flashlight, and put a more powerful battery up top to run the flashlight itself. And then this would be obviously the back handle. And now you've got, you know, the blade slides into the flashlight. So you've got essentially a tactical billy club. You got that super bright light, which is blinding. I mean, that's a weapon in itself. And then as your backup, you can always clip that out. You've got your electric tri-bladed knife. But anyway, I don't really mess with weapons so much. It's stupid. I have way better inventions. I have a solution for the electricity of the whole planet. I mean, my solar power lines of flexible solar cells on power lines that have changed the whole world. Of course, I can't get there until I move forward. And but I've tested that. Maybe I'll have a video about that at some point. I did enter a National Geographic contest. I didn't do very well, but that is my solution for the world's energy crisis. It's a solar power line adapter, and there's 400 million miles of solar power lines, in the United States, and that's just one level. But there's 4 levels high, so multiply that. It's 1.6 billion miles, but that's a conservative estimate. And I did the math, and with today's flexible solar cell rolls that you can get, they're quite pricey. But I mean, that's well over a kilowatt per 100 feet. So you do the math. That's all our energy just right above our heads. It's there, and that's the grid. That's where you want it. Yeah, it takes away from the home solar. Yeah, you can put solar panels. Everybody's got to buy their own. But I just really think it's a better solution. Because, yes, the power company will be in charge of it, but that's the way they want it. And face it, it's a stat game, a rig game. So if anything to get rid of nuclear power and coal power, in my book, is a good idea. So let's just keep going. Come over here to my, oh, you can hear that. You can hear that running down. I've been running for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, so that's pretty good. But remember, when I run tether drones, that's off of a power supply from the house, so power's no concern. And getting back to this is it's that garden I was talking about. This is a sealed microgreen garden. It's perfectly sealed. Well, this one isn't. Not until I put my zipper device on my next one. I'm going to have like 50 of these in the garden this year. Well, 20 to 50 of them. Testing various plants. I had a whole nother video. I talked for a long time about it. But this little LED light I just got on there for giggles, because I am going to offer these for sale at some point. And that's that EL wire I was talking about, electroluminescent wire. Now I'm getting the EL panels also to test lumen output and so on and so forth. But let me show you this real quick. EL wire is pretty cool stuff. That's lit up right now, but you can't tell because it's so bright in here. Let me turn this light off here. And take this over here. So, it's like neon, and it does light areas up. So it's got a decent amount of output for 2 AA batteries. And the cool thing is, I mean, this will run for weeks on them AA's. It'll run for so long, it's crazy. So you got that. So that's EL wire, electroluminescent. And I'm thinking if I get the EL panels, I'll be able to light up a garden with it more efficiently than LED. And I want to see with these sealed microgreen gardens, microgreens don't take that much power. They take very little, in fact. You're only growing the plants 2 inches tall and then harvesting them, but they're worth between $10 and $50 a pound. So there is some there's some use and benefit to this, and microgreens are becoming very popular with vegetarians and health food people. All right, enough of that. Let's come over to this experiment. Everybody who watches my videos knows about this. This is a sealed air pressure experiment. I'm putting this under air pressure. I have to fix the gasket. So I decided I'm going to epoxy the gasket down and use some probably some oil between the seal and the container. Just see, because right now I can only hold 5 psi in this container, and it loses it after 1 day. So I just need to redo it. But I know it's that gasket. I've been having issues with it. But let's come over here. This is the sealed one. This is a completely sealed cloche, and the cannabis indica plant in there. Now this is cannabis indica hemp, so it's a little different than probably most people are aware of. It stinks. The flowers that come off it taste exactly like any other high THC cannabis, but this has 0.127%, so it's essentially, it's just high CBD, 23%. So this stuff, you smoke it, it does not give you a mind high. It gives you a body high, but it doesn't give you a mind high. And I just found out today, actually, I had a video about hemp cigarettes idea. They're actually going to be selling those. So, yeah, that's just nothing new under the sun, I guess. No new ideas, but my idea still stands. I have the, of course, I would still want to sell those because, I mean, $284,000 an acre is what you can get for this stuff. I mean, that's crazy for something that's completely legal. What else do you know that's worth $284,000 an acre? There is nothing. And that's selling at $3 a pack. I've done the math. So this stuff still has a future for business potential. And now that I know that somebody else is doing it, it's got even more potential. That means somebody else did the legwork and it's not completely unique. Now I have another product that I want to offer, which is it's a low, it's hemp, but it's a much milder hemp. It doesn't have the stinky, skunky, marijuana-like smell or flavor. It's more traditional hemp. And what I want to do with that is make the cigarettes and offer them, there's some e-juice that's tobacco flavored. And I've already experimented with adding it to cured cannabis or hemp. And I'd like to offer that as a product because it has the nicotine in it. So smokers would be able to switch to it. But it'd be switching to a much healthier alternative, and play the cards right, or before the government gets involved, And it's not tobacco, so you wouldn't have to follow all the rules and regulations they're setting up. I mean, they're basically choking the tobacco industry out. And they should be. I'm quitting in 12 days because this shit is killing me. You can hear me breathing on these videos. I used to be, I have huge lung capacity, hold my breath for 5 minutes when I was younger. Now, I can't even make a video without people hearing me breathe. And guys at work used to kind of make fun of me behind my back because you could hear me breathing. This has been going on a long time, so it's time to quit. I want to see my 6-year-old at least graduate high school. I'd be real happy to even get beyond that. So if I quit smoking, I've already quit drinking and quit the cannabis. I think I got a good chance to get some more good years in. Anyway, so glad you could join me. Do another video later about all these camera mounts, and just got a lot to do. But yeah, we'll get her done. Thanks for joining me. Remember, if you like this kind of stuff, you like to hear me drone on for forever about different ideas, different things I'm doing, just like, subscribe, make a comment. Nobody ever leaves comments. These videos aren't very popular. They're pretty much for myself, but that's fine. It's not like I'm gonna get famous off anything, not anytime soon. All right, guys, have a good night. All right, boys and girls, got her loaded up. Let's just fire one. Let's see what happens. See, she made some damage there. Oh yeah, she left a good dent. That's right where I was, a little left of where I was aiming, but I kind of wasn't really looking. I was looking at the camera. So, but yeah, it's like a half-inch deep hole in this wall. So it hits pretty hard. That's fiberboard, but still, it hit it pretty damn hard. All right, well, thanks for watching. Have a great night.